If Barcelona is on your cruise itinerary, this is exactly how I would plan it. In this Barcelona Cruise Port guide, I'm going to show you the best areas to visit, the one attraction you absolutely need to book ahead, and how to see Barcelona in just one day or stretch it into 2 or 3 days before your cruise. Barcelona is one of the best cruise ports in Europe, but it's also surprisingly easy to waste time here if you don't have a simple plan. A lot of cruise passengers either try to do too much in one day, or they stay near Las Ramblas and completely miss some of the best parts of the city. So in this video, we're going to simplify it. Whether you're there for just one day on a cruise stop, or you're spending a couple days before or after your cruise, this is the strategy I would use. And while we travel with kids a lot, this plan works whether you're traveling as a couple, solo, or as a family. The goal is simple: see the best parts of Barcelona without feeling rushed and without zigzagging across the entire city. But before we jump into what to see, there's one thing cruise passengers should understand about visiting Barcelona. Barcelona's cruise port is very close to the city, but it's not really walkable from most cruise terminals. Most people usually use one of 3 options: the cruise shuttle bus, a taxi, or Uber, which has become a really popular option in Barcelona. Usually it's about a 10 to 15 minute ride into the city depending on traffic. If you're starting your cruise here, the Barcelona airport is also about a 20 to 30 minute drive to the cruise port, which makes this one of the easier cruise cities to manage logistically. Now, before we start planning the day, it helps to understand the layout of Barcelona. Most visitors spend their entire time in 4 main areas: the Gothic quarter and Las Ramblas, the Sagrada Familia area, Park Güell and the Garcia neighborhood, and the Barceloneta beach and port area. If you only have one day in Barcelona, you can realistically see 2 or 3 areas pretty comfortably. If you have 2 or 3 days, then you can slow things down and enjoy the city a lot more. So let's start with one day cruise port planning. If your cruise ship is visiting Barcelona for the day, I would start in the Gothic quarter. This is the historic heart of the city. You'll find narrow, medieval streets, small plazas, and some really beautiful old buildings. Walk past the Barcelona Cathedral, explore some of the side streets, and just take your time wandering through that area. From there, you can slowly make your way towards Las Ramblas. Las Ramblas is the most famous pedestrian street in Barcelona. You'll see street performers, cafes, small shops, and there's a lot of energy in that area of the city. Just off Las Ramblas, you also find Boqueria market, which is one of the most famous food markets in Europe. If you want to visit the market, try to go earlier in the day. Later in the afternoon, it gets extremely crowded and some vendors start closing. If you're traveling with kids, this area actually works really well because there's a lot to look at, plenty of snack stops, and lots of places to take a quick break. And one quick travel tip: generally Barcelona is very safe, but just like every other major tourist city in Europe, pickpocketing can happen in crowded areas like Las Ramblas. So just keep bags zipped, avoid putting wallets in your back pocket, and stay aware in busy areas. Now next, you're gonna head to one of the most famous landmarks in all of Europe, the Sagrada Familia. Even if you're not normally someone who visits churches, this place is absolutely incredible. The architecture inside is unlike anything else. The stained glass windows create these incredible colors that fill the entire space, and there's one very important tip here: buy your tickets in advance. Sagrada Familia frequently sells out days in advance, especially during cruise season. So plan to spend about an hour to 90 minutes there. And if you're traveling with kids, one fun thing to do is have them look for the different colors of light coming through the stained glass. It's a simple way to keep them engaged while you're exploring. Now, if you have time after visiting Sagrada Familia, you have a couple good options. One option is heading to Park Güell. This is another famous design by Gaudi. The park has colorful mosaics, unique architecture, and some really great views of the city. The only downside is that it's up on a hill, so it can take a little more time to get there. If you want something a little easier, a little more relaxed, another option is heading towards the Barceloneta beach. It's more of a city beach than a tropical beach, but it's a great place to walk along the waterfront, grab some food, or just relax before heading back to the ship. And one important tip when you're visiting Barcelona from a cruise ship: Barcelona traffic can get busy, especially later in the afternoon, so make sure to leave yourself plenty of time to get back to the port. Taking a taxi or Uber back to the cruise terminal is usually the easiest option. Now let's extend the plan if you're staying in Barcelona before or after your cruise. If you have 2 or 3 days here, the city becomes a lot more enjoyable. Your first day should focus on historic Barcelona, spend time exploring the Gothic quarter, walking through Las Ramblas, and then visiting the market. Barcelona is an incredible food city. Try some tapas, some jamon, or even traditional paella. And if you're traveling with kids, adding in a small break like getting some gelato, making some stops will make the day more enjoyable. Your second day can focus on architecture created by Gaudi. Start with the Sagrada Familia if you didn't visit it in day one. Then head over to Paseo de Gracia, where you can see two of Gaudi's most famous buildings, Casa Batillo and Casa Mila, also known as La Padrilla. Even if you don't go inside, they're impressive to see from the outside. And then later in the day, you can visit Park Güell and enjoy some of the best views of Barcelona. And if you have a third day in Barcelona, this is where you can slow things down. One great place is to visit Montjuïc. You can take a cable car up the hill and visit the castle, which has incredible views over the city and the harbor. And then from there, you can actually see the cruise ships docked in port, which is a really cool perspective. Another option is spending more time around Barcelona, around the beach, and visiting the aquarium, which can be a good option, especially if you're traveling with kids. And if you want one of the best panoramic views of Barcelona, another great spot is the Bunkers del Carmel, which overlooks the entire city. And then lastly, another really memorable option, especially if you have that extra day, is taking a day trip out to Montserrat. This is a mountain range just outside of Barcelona. It's famous for its dramatic rock formations and historic monastery. It was built right into the mountains. Eric and I took a trip out there about 15 years ago, and it ended up being one of the most beautiful experiences we had near Barcelona. You can get there by train from the city, and the last part of the journey includes either a cable car or a rack railway that climbs up into the mountains. And once you're there, the views are incredible. You can explore the monastery, walk some of the hiking trails, or just enjoy the scenery and the quiet atmosphere. It's a completely different experience from the city and a really great option if you want to see another side of the region. Also, before we wrap up, a couple quick cruise travel tips. If you're starting your cruise in Barcelona, I strongly recommend flying in at least one day early. Flights get delayed, and the last thing you want is travel stress on embarkation day. Also remember, Barcelona is usually about 6 hours ahead of the US, so if you're flying in from the United States, you may want to keep your first day pretty relaxed. If your cruise ends in Barcelona, booking a later afternoon flight gives you a little bit of extra time to explore before heading back to the airport. Barcelona is one of the best cruise cities in Europe, but it's not really a city where you want to rush from attraction to attraction. The best way to enjoy it is to group the neighborhoods together, move at a steady pace, and leave some time to simply enjoy the atmosphere. Barcelona is a city that Eric and I and the kids have sat out on Las Ramblas at a cafe for a few hours at a time and really just enjoyed all the activity that takes place in front of you, from the street performers to just seeing the energy of the whole city. Barcelona can easily become one of the highlights of your entire cruise. If you have a cruise coming up that stops in Barcelona, let me know in the comments how long you'll be there, 1 day, 2 days, or maybe longer. And if you're planning a Mediterranean cruise, be sure to check out our other guides where we share everything we've learned from cruising through Europe with our family. Again, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.